I got 2 of them, bro. Get the net. 3 of them. We got 3 fish on right now. Yeah. All right, what's up, guys? Back at it for another video. This one, I'm gonna talk through what I'm using and my approach to catching these hybrids, and I'll show you the lure that I'm using here at the end of the video. But at this first part, one of the things I want you to notice is you can see and kind of hear birds in the background along with other boats. And so even if you don't have fancy electronics, if you're trying to catch hybrids, look for birds and look for other boats. Probably easier to find other boats, see what they're doing, head in that general area, and then see if you can pick up on a similar hybrid pattern that they are. And for those that who do watch regularly and comment and engage in the channel, I appreciate you. As you can see here, it's a lot of work trying to capture video and talk you through how I'm catching these fish. You know, at this spot, the camera was in a low position, so here I am fighting this fish and then bringing up the camera in a higher position so that you all get a nice view of the fish catching what I'm doing. God, it feels big. First cast an A-rig out here. Marked the spot earlier. Bit the chartreuse. And then what you got going on here is, I think I talked about this in my previous video, but this fish hit right at the boat. And so when you're throwing an A-rig or a single swim bait or whatever lure that you're throwing, what I've noticed is that these hybrids will follow your bait all the way to the boat. And so wait to the very last second to bring up your lure, because a lot of times that hybrid will hit right there at your boat. Notice how I'm scanning the area. What I'm doing here is scanning to see where the birds are, what they're doing, and what the other anglers are doing. What I've noticed is that if there's 5 or 10 other boats in the area and they're not catching anything, I probably need to leave that area or kind of go away from everyone a little bit. And for this instance, I went shallower and closer to the bank, and I was able to catch a fish here and there. And so, so if you're not catching fish, don't be afraid to leave that little circle of other anglers and try something a little different. Well, all right, so if you've been paying close attention, you can see that I've been catching everything on an A-rig with a chartreuse swim bait. I even took a picture, did a screenshot of the bait so that you all can see, so that you don't have to pause it. And so hopefully that is helpful to you all, but let me give you a closer look of what the bait looks like. Okay, I bought 2 packaging of this Swing Impact Fat Kitex a few days ago, and I'm down to my last one here. And so this is the 3.3 inch. This is in electric blue and chartreuse, and this is what I've been catching them on. Now, most of my A-rigs, on my A-rigs, I can have 3 hooks. 2 of my hooks have the chartreuse, and one of them had a shad pattern, just to see if they would hit that shad pattern. And what I've noticed is every single time they hit this chartreuse color. And so if you're local and in around the Smyrna area, I was able to pick these up at Academy. I'm sure Bass Pro has them, or Tackle Warehouse, but I probably need to get a few more. And this is what they look like on the A-rig. So for my hooks, I'm using a VMC hook with a screw lock in there. I noticed that when you're catching a bunch of these hybrids, it's nice to have the screw lock on there, because you can just unhook the fish and throw this thing back out there, and you don't have to put on another bait. I feel like these swim baits hold up a lot better on the screw lock. For weight wise, I have a 1/4 ounce on the bottom, so both of my bottom lures are 1/4 ounce, and then the middle one is 3/16. What I do want to experiment with is a little bit heavier ones. Again, if you watch these videos, and you'll notice when I chug the A-rig out there, I'll wait a few seconds and let this thing fall. I'm also reeling in real slowly. What I'm trying to do is just let this sink and reel it back in slowly in the bottom of the water column. I feel like that's where the hybrids are most of the times. Now, don't get me wrong, every once in a while we'll catch a hybrid up shallow, but I feel like the white bass are more in the shallow area where the hybrids are a little bit deeper. But I don't know, you're probably catching them shallow, so do whatever works for you. But I do want to experiment and have a lighter A-rig set up and a heavier A-rig set up. But this is what I'm throwing. It also has these little blades. You know, if you're watching the birds and they're feeding on the bait fish, and if you get close enough, that bait fish is tiny. And that's one of the things I've noticed the last couple of days. And so I think these blades is really key to catching these hybrids. I tried to throw an A-rig without the little blades a few days ago. Didn't have much luck. Although I didn't throw it that often. I just feel like I want to make the loudest attention and get that bait to look at my lure, and hoping I can hook some of them. And so I'm throwing on 65-pound braid. In some of the videos you might have seen, I actually had 20-pound fluorocarbon. But with me throwing this thing and fishing it deep, I noticed I was getting hung up sometimes, and I lost one or two because that line broke and it just wasn't heavy enough. And so it takes a while to rig this thing up. With all the terminal tack and all the baits, cost adds up wise. So I put that 65-pound braid on there. If anything, I'm bidding on a hook or breaking a hook and getting the majority of my rig back. And so the rod I'm throwing on is a 711 moderate rod. So the reel that I'm using is the Speedwise. It's 7-3-1. It's a heavy duty reel, and it seems to be working out okay, but interested in trying out some different setups. But that's what we got going on, fellas. Hopefully you all give this a try, and if you do and catch some, let me know. That's all I got for today. Talk to you later. Bye.